You got a fast car, I got $100,000. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can find love. Any place is better, even in the cave of delusion. Maybe we can make something. Me, myself, I got money to lose. So I remember we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out for us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling you were a scammer, and I thought I found love. Oh, so emotional. At the fact that I got the remix out eventually. Finally did it. And that will make more sense to you as you continue to watch this video. See what I did there? Please keep watching this, because I can't do this adventure alone. Okay, you need to embark upon this adventure with me. Alright, minuscule circle. He usually can cut it. But for this one, we're gonna need the whole squad. Okay, the TT need to band together, because I'm more confused at the end of this video than I was when before I even started. It's just one of those stories, and you're gonna understand what I mean as we go through this. So strap yourselves in. Shout out Tracy Chapman, yeah, because love fast car, okay? And you're gonna wanna speed right through this, because it hurts my brain.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
Hello.
On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Sally who will open up about how she was romance scammed by a man named Marcelo. Sally and Marcelo hit it off right away and started a relationship online that would last over 3 years. The two never met in person. All communication was either over the phone or through text message. Sally is now having doubts that Marcelo might not be who he claims to be after sending him over $100,000. Let's jump right into it.
Before we jump right into the lake of delusion, not trying to get wet, not right now anyway. I must stress to everyone, obviously, I don't think this is a relationship, okay? 3 years you might be doing up the chitty chatty, but if there's no pity patty of the skin, you just, it's not a relationship. Okay, 3 years and everything has been virtual. What kind of world is this? Goodness gracious me. And just the phrasing of it. She doesn't think it's real after... She's having doubts after sending 100 grand. That's an expensive doubt, huh? If anyone's played LA Noire back in the day. You know when you press X to doubt? That's a pricey one. What is happening here, man?
Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get
Go do that, but you already are.
Hello, Social Catfish. My name is Sally. I own a restaurant.
Ooh.
And I love to cook. My family is the most important thing to me. I'm a very happy person. I love life. And I just thought it would be nice to have someone to share it with.
Okay.
Well, my friend
What
was
is he doing?
Marcelo Lombardo. And I loved that name because I'm Italian and it felt old world to me. And he told me he was half Italian, so that I liked. We both, hit the button that we liked each other. So then we started talking, and he said, I'm surprised that you're on Tinder because you'd think that men would be knocking your door down to talk to you because you're so pretty.
What
and
a line.
I said, no man knocking my door down, and he was very good looking.
Hold on a second there. Where the hell did the heart come from? Sorry to let me move out the way potentially, huh? Can you see? There's no heart there, and then, oh boom! The heart has come out of nowhere. You see, we're talking about doors right now. I've opened the door, and it's the spirit of the scammer trying to enter my ass. What is going on here? I don't know what she was referring to when she said old world. Someone let me know in the comments. She owns a restaurant. Well and truly, what's being cooked here is disgusting. Nobody get Gordon Ramsay in for this one. He'll shut that shit down ASAP. I love the fact that she mentions family are a big thing for her. Look, I'm not going to tell her what to do with her money because some people have a gripe with me saying that victims shouldn't spunk their money like this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. If you love your family, I would hope you would... Now, I'm not saying you owe them something, right? But this would have been better used like on your grandchildren, I assume, are in the pictures there. You know what I mean? It's just hard to believe when people say that they care about XYZ when they're in this position, and they probably weren't thinking about anyone else when they were sending this money. So, miss me with that, please.
Oh, and he was very good looking.
He is.
You know, you keep seeing that good looking man in your head, you know. Things that he said to me and this and that, I was flattered, you know. Marcelo was one of the most handsomest men I've ever seen.
I don't think handsomest is a word, but carry on.
And his teeth were just beautiful. And he was older, though, you know, and he was so sweet. He was always laughing and he was always saying funny things.
Hold on, babe, what do you call a pig that does karate? I don't know, you tell me. Is this gonna be like pork chop or something?
Of course, he always said...
Look! I was correct! Marcelo is a comedian! Does that mean I'm a comedian because I knew the joke? I feel like I'm spitting everywhere, by the way. Is that a concern? Just trying to lube up the mouth for what I presume will spew out vitriol at some point. Or something like that. I don't know. The amount of shit I'm going to waffle.
You're just so beautiful. And we talked about how money isn't everything and love is everything. He crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. Very handsome, tall.
Yeah, we get it.
You know, but I didn't think I was that bad looking either. My pictures looked pretty nice. And I felt like the stuff he said could be true. I've always been told that I'm beautiful and by everybody.
Oh, everyone.
You know, or better looking than most. So
oh, okay.
Everything he had to say to me, I believed, you know.
When am I going to see you? You're gonna see him the day that you can get your mentality in check, because that screamed, kind of pick me, huh? Oh, I've been told by everyone. Goodness me, that's a lot of people then. Because I'm pretty sure you would have met so many people by now. So that's concerning that everyone is telling you that you're beautiful for no apparent reason. That would concern me if I meet people and every single one of them are saying, oh my goodness, look at you. I'd be like, what is going on here? And then you're better looking than most. You know, if there was ever a world where I could have chalked up, I've been told by everyone I'm beautiful. If there was a world, I'd chalk that as okay, we'll let that shit slide. I'm better looking than most screams of you trying to maybe convince yourself. But also, my goodness, the sheer audacity to have your head up your ass that far. Maybe it's just me. Let me know your thoughts. I don't like where this is heading. Okay.
I probably wanted to believe it too, because I thought this man was going to come here and we were going to spend our life together. The first time I sent money, it was by my house, and I sent him 1,000. And when I sent him the 1,000, just before I sent it, I said, well, I know you're probably not going to ever speak to me again because you just want money.
So why?
I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoyed talking to you.
Sorry,
and
what?
I think so much of you, blah, blah.
Okay, thank you for actually ending that with blah, 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 blah. Because that's exactly what I'm hearing right now. And that's what some of you might be commenting as well. Shut your mouth, right boy. I don't think she's got the most self-esteem. You know, I don't know if it's irony that she's called herself, you know, better looking than most. But in the same vein, I actually think she's not probably the most self-assured person. We see it a lot. People who have to big themselves up. Most of the time, they do have self-esteem issues. I wonder if that's the case here. And again, going back to, it's probably her trying to convince herself, maybe. Hey, look, don't get me wrong, right? Maybe everyone you did meet did tell you that you are beautiful and whatever, right? But that doesn't give you the right to sort of have your head in the clouds type thing. It doesn't give you the right to... She hasn't done it, of course. I don't really know, but could you argue she shat on other people by saying she's better looking than most? Who's the judge of that? Do you know what I mean? Like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. To everyone who's called you beautiful, you know, sure, but that doesn't give you the right to say that you're better looking than most. But, all right, go off.
Blah. And then, so he said, no, I'm going to talk to you, this and that. So anyway, I sent him the 1,000. And then I was very surprised that he still talked to me. But I didn't realize that he had much more in mind, you know, much more money in mind.
All of Marcelo's problems never ended. He had a reason of why he needed money every other month.
Bloody hell.
This is a perfect example of the scam never ends. There's always an angle or a reason why scammers need you to send them money. Unfortunately, Sally didn't realize it yet.
He used to wash his feet before he went in bed. You know, he would do things that you would think a scammer wouldn't do. You know,
what?
Well, I said, what are you doing? Are you washing your feet again? He goes, yep, because you could hear the water sloshing, you know. He said, I have to wash my feet before I go to bed because I don't like to put dirty feet in a bed, you know. And then he'd talk to me when he was brushing his teeth many, many times, you know, like, you know, why would a scammer brush his teeth? You see, I was thinking all this stuff.
What the is going on in here on this day?
He told me that he had all these cars and he...
Hold on. You're getting ahead of yourself. You're talking about cars. You know, well and truly, your brain has got in a car and drove very, very far away. If anyone can pick out what the hell Sally is trying to say there and bring back her brain, I'm really confused here. One of my favorite songs, Tracy Chapman, Fast Car. I'm going to remix here, so give me a second. Tracy, please, no copyrights, okay? Sally's got a fast car. Her brain's inside, it's going somewhere. We don't have a clue. When it's coming back or where it's going. Don't gotta go too far. Sally's brain is gone. That's the worst, probably, remix I've ever done. But for some reason, I couldn't get the tune right in my head. I think it's too much of a classic. You can't remix it. What is Sally talking about here? Genuinely? Yeah, Donnie is washing his feet and his teeth. Oh! A scammer would never do such a thing. What? I mean... I've said in the past, scammers are probably sitting in their shit-stained boxers laughing at people. I don't actually think they don't hygiene look after themselves. So, what's Scally? What? Where did that come from? Scallywag, huh? What is Sally on about here, bro? That's actually pissed me off a lot. If she dares call herself intelligent in this video, by the way, I think I'm going to lose my shit even more.
To go to Africa because he had to sign these papers. He can't do it by fax. And so he went to South Africa and then...
By the way, do I need to get out the way again? Because I feel like I'm covering it. Look at that image of the cars, huh? Yeah, all right, man. He just went into the sky, apparently. He took it with a drone. Shut up, Marcelo. Also, maybe I'm being petty here. Yes, I have to go to Africa. Where? Africa is not one place, is it? There's many countries. Where are you going? Gosh.
All of a sudden he tells me they found cocaine in one of the cars.
Oh, goodness.
So they arrested me.
I didn't expect that.
This place that's just before going into their prison. He needed some money because he needed to hire an attorney. I went to the bank and I sent like $3,800 right off the bat to him. And it was just one thing after another. My daughter said, boy, she's never seen anyone with so many problems. Finally got out of that jail type thing, and he was on the way home.
I don't. Is Sally like a social experiment or what? Donnie said the jail type thing. God, don't ever get Sally to be your lawyer. You ain't ever leaving.
He was going to be leaving there Christmas Day, and so then I would see him, or Christmas Eve, so I'd see him Christmas Day. And then he told me my visa expired.
So what
He told
the
me
hell?
he got involved with these people that could, illegally get his visa straight.
Sorry?
But he needed money for that.
What are you
And then
doing?
he needed money to be there. And, I kept fighting with him about giving him money. He wanted $1,000 because he had to stay somewhere, while he was waiting for these people to get this stuff in line for getting his visa going.
Getting his visa going. The brain well and truly has got going and is actually never coming back. It's like the visa, it's just gone. What is happening here? I'm so conflicted between this is really sad and then on this hand, I feel like I'm being pranked. Sally can't be real. As a human being, she can't be real. Because you're telling me Donnie has said he wants to illegally get a visa. Yeah, some Donnies in the back alleys are going to open up their trench coat and hand him a visa, apparently. Oh, this is my lover. God, I'm gushing downstairs right now. Can people on this show stop thinking they're in a Bonnie and Clyde situation and stop lusting over these criminals? Can we stop doing this, please?
He needed money to do this and that for his cars, and then all of a sudden he needed more money for the hotel bill, $3,000
Where is his money?
and some food money, and then he'd try to make it look like I was being cheap, not giving him a lot of food money. I said, how much food can you eat?
True.
And I said, this is getting ridiculous. He goes, it's only 2 cars. It's 2 cars. All we have to do is sell 2 cars, and you'll get your money back.
I don't feel like I need to tell anyone, but if someone is repeatedly asking you for money and you haven't met them in 3 years, yeah, we'll put an asterisk on that. And I'll say if someone's asking you for money and it's been a couple days, you might want to just sort yourself out, okay? Get a grip of yourself, because what's happening here is that you're being financially abused. I don't really think Sally here is picking up on it. I mean, in the interview portion here, she's sort of, I guess, recognizing that it's strange. But I urge people in the moment, you should be recognizing these red flags. I know it's difficult. Some people argue they're in love and whatever, yeah. But we gotta stop. What's that word? That's just not the word, is it? Because I didn't even say a word. So what am I saying? We have to stop making the bed for these victims. That's a phrase I'm now going to coin, okay? We got to stop tucking them in, Stop coddling them. Where are we drawing the line? If this is what love makes people do and you're just going to excuse it, may I never find love then, okay?
He always had a good excuse. So I drove all the way to Nebraska state line, which was
Why?
3-hour drive, and nothing.
What?
So I went home with a disappointment, Finally, he was coming home, and the police stopped him. They arrested him, and he told me that they were going to just let him go home to Slovakia, that he had to go home, and they were going to put his cars in this big warehouse until he could, work everything out to come back.
Sorry, is he still, by the way, in the unspecified country of Africa? Because I'm confused here. Does he live in Slovakia and the police are gonna... So he's been arrested by police in Africa. Somehow they're gonna extradite him back to Slovakia or something. Don't really know how that works. And I don't even think you can extradite someone out the country. Well, you can, but that would be Slovakian police doing that. I don't really understand what's going on here. So let's keep our fingers like this for a second, just so I can put the train of thought back on the tracks. I forgot that he was arrested before for possessing, right? So why is she still here? Like, magically, did the Coke end up in the car? Because I'm confused. Sure, she Probably wants to live like a thrilling life, I guess. I don't really know what's going on. Why has he been arrested right now? I'd like some context, please.
So then he went home to Slovakia, and then we're talking with Slovakia, and he said, "Oh, it's so boring here in Slovakia. And could you send me some money for some food, you know? Because I think I supported him for 3 years."
No, God! It's so boring here in Slovakia. I want to get to you, babe. I mean, yeah, it's better than being in prison, sure. But send me money for food, what, because he's bored? He's eating for fun? Oh, this is probably one of the more ludicrous stories and more ridiculous conversations that I am reading,
you know, I gave
on this show
every
anyway.
money I could possibly find. And he said, the attorney just needs $700. So I gave him the $700 for the guy to take care of it. And then he says, "Oh,
take care of
he
what?
Needs a $3,000 retainer." I said, "I thought he only needed $700. Now
hold
he
on a
needs
second,
more."
Sally. I mean, I assume this is an editing mistake. Donnie's talking about 3K retainer. Then she says, "Well, it's better than being prison again." I mean, is it that surprising? Donnie's been in prison so many times. She has to say it multiple times. You know, for the jokes, that's an expensive retainer that the dentist is offering the attorney. Oh, shut up. What the hell is going on here? Can we get to the part where she, like, finds out this is a scam? Because I think I'm losing my head here.
This is expensive.
I feel like I'm on drugs.
And he said he's done this all the time.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
And he needs the $3,000 to get all these papers and to pay people that are dishonest, you know.
Sorry, he's done this all the time. What, getting arrested? And being essentially deported? What is going on here?
Mr. Krabs, I am so confused.
So I sent the $3,000, and then he needed $3,000 more because now he needed the guy's profit. Because the guy paid all the other people, he says. Now he's going to need profit.
What?
So I sent that $3,000. It was always another $3,000.
What is wrong with you, Sally?
I told him, "Let me just bring you the money, and then I can get you." He would never let me bring him the money.
At this point, Sally had sent Marcelo over $100,000.
Hold on there. Because what she's described, is it just me that doesn't know how that adds up to 100K? I feel like, to be honest, I don't think we've got enough time in our life to sit here waiting for her to list all of the expenses. But, like, I feel like we've jumped hella far. We've done Olympic level high jump here. That's how far. Should have gone long jump. That would have been funnier, right? Just laugh for the sake of my sanity, okay? I also want to go back to the part where Marcelo was calling her cheap and whatever for sending her such a little amount. Please, everyone. I know this is a scam and we're trying to be lighthearted as possible, but I like to sprinkle in a little bit of a life advice if you want to take it anyway, with a pinch of salt as always. If someone is not appreciative of what you're supporting them with, even to the point where you know that maybe you feel like you could do more, right? Even that aside, if someone is not appreciative, honestly, even that part of you that feels like you could do more, you get the hell out of there, okay? Because it's one thing to sort of guilt trip yourself. I regret maybe not helping out more. Maybe I could have done this more, X, Y, Z. You know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Maybe in your mind you could have done more. But the fact that you were helping that person in the first place, when perhaps no one else was, that's more than enough, right? You shouldn't guilt trip yourself. But guilt tripping yourself is one thing. If the other person you're supporting is guilt tripping you, what is, like, get a grip. You tell them, get a grip of yourself, okay? And you cease all support and have respect for yourself. Because if that person doesn't appreciate you, then they can appreciate your ass getting the hell out of there. And tell them to kiss your ass on the way out as well. Give it a big smooch. Yeah. I was going to say lick the hairs. We're going to move on.
Thank you.
Editing age here. Don't worry, I'm not going to make another arse hair joke. Ooh. Something was in my mouth. I just did it. Basically, I wanted to come here and say that, trigger warning, we're about to see an image of Sally not looking in the best of conditions in a hospital bed, because the original video just didn't want to give a warning and they just shoved the image in your face. So bear that in mind here, and also brace yourself for another time in the video as well, where they show the image again.
Sally became very ill with a virus and was even put on a ventilator.
What is this image?
She was told that she had a 15% chance of living. But Marcelo...
Okay, but Marcelo, my ass, how about that? I'm not going to rewind it. I kind of don't appreciate the fact that they showed that image. Maybe that's just me. Trigger warning next time at the very least. Look, I guess Sally consented to having that image shown, but goodness me, a warning at least.
Still had more tricks up his sleeve.
How about...
Well, then I was in the hospital, and the first month I was there, he opened a credit card in my name. I don't know how he was able to do that.
Well, you probably
he also
gave him
opened
information.
A bank account in my name with a bank I never heard of, and it was called Truist Bank.
Truist?
Luckily, I found out about it because they sent me a letter, and it said...
Oh, hold on. With all due respect to this bank, if it's real, sorry, but this looks AI generated. If you are lying in hospital, right, and Donnie's on the outside doing up a madness with your information, why are you still communicating with him? Huh? This is really sad, as I mentioned earlier, Sally, please. It seems like, again, I could be wrong. Well, I'm tangled here. I'm caught on the charging cable. That's my body trying to energize itself, I guess. Please, everyone, recognize abuse. Okay, obviously we touched on financial abuse, but the stuff that is happening here, also the mental abuse, you know, berating someone, you're cheap, you didn't help me enough. This is wild. Why? I mean, she mentioned her daughter sort of, what's the word here? She mentioned her, okay, I just don't know.
Good job, little buddy.
A letter, and it said, thank you for telling us that you don't want overdraft protection. I thought, what is overdraft protection? I don't even know who you are, lady. I called the bank, I told them the whole sordid story, and they canceled that bank account. Well, little did I know there was another bank account that he did a checking and a savings. Somehow he was able to cash two $2,500 checks with this bank. And he signed something on the back that looked nothing like my signature.
Goodness
they were
me.
after me. And they said they were going to ruin my credit. And oh man, it was just terrible. When I met him, I had $20,000 in the bank and no debt.
You didn't meet him?
When I ended with him, I had no money in the bank and at least $90,000 worth of debt.
Sorry?
I even had more than that, you know. It's just that I took care of some of it at first. I refinanced my building to get rid of 30,000 of it, and I thought I was done with them. I'm real well known in this area. You know, I built this business for 24 years, and anywhere you go in any of the towns, 5, 6, 7 towns around our area, if you mention the name of my business, they've been there or they know how great the food is.
Okay.
I have had income property for 20 years. I own a restaurant for 23 years. I'm not a dumb woman, and I'm not lonely. I'm around people all the time.
So what's the excuse here, then?
It was just that I thought it'd be nice not to be by myself the rest of my life.
What did that just mean?
What is happening here? She said a lot of stuff that just, you know, don't really match up with the story. The whole intelligence angle, I think I mentioned earlier, but I've just forgot now. I was hoping she would have mentioned it because she did something foolish earlier on that I pointed out. The whole mentioning the food is good and whatever, I don't really understand why. I guess plug the business by not even showing the name of the business, but get the word out there. I don't bloody know. And then this whole thing about she's not lonely, I'd love to know what excuse the people who do say that it's loneliness that causes these scams to even happen in the first place. If she's saying it's not loneliness, what could it be then? I don't really agree with her. I mean, I don't want to attach too much on loneliness because, although everyone does sort of navigate their emotions differently, we can't just say it's loneliness that causes a victim to be scammed, because where are we going to draw the line? At what point should loneliness not make you a scam victim then? You know, it's just too complex, in my opinion, and you got to factor in all the other aspects. She mentions not being lonely, but maybe you are, right? And then you couple in the fact that I believe, anyway, she has self-esteem issues, sort of bigging herself up. I mean, look, again, if people are saying that she is beautiful and more attractive than most, that's one thing. But you taking that and running with it, it's not your place, at least not to me, in my opinion. But yeah, that, then you got maybe, could you say there's an element of greed here? I mean, she's going to get her money back. She's waiting to be paid back by Marcelo. I don't know. There's the lust aspect, obviously, in a lot of these stories. Let me know your thoughts, because I don't think it's just the loneliness aspect, despite her saying she's not lonely.
You know, I thought it'd be nice to go to a theater with someone.
I mean, I do understand that.
I'm sure everybody else feels the same way that does what I did.
What?
But you know what? If they keep asking you for money, don't give it to them, because
yeah,
I think an honorable man does not take money from a woman. But, you know, he talked a good game. And he was so good looking. I know it's my vanity.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm reaching out to Social Catfish because
I guess she's answered the lust aspect then. The vanity got to her. You know, is that her taking accountability? Or is this a case of, you know, she's just, like so many other victims do, just trying her best to come across nice on camera, but at least she's acknowledged the vanity, right?
I feel like I was really taken. I feel like a fool. And,
Yes.
you know, I am a fool for love. I was
All
just
right.
looking for love.
Let's chill out there,
I was
man.
looking in the wrong places. But for one thing, I love to help people. If I can stop one person from going through this,
What?
it'll be worth it for me.
How about you look hella surprised there, first of all, or upset. Don't really know which one you're going to go with. How about people on this show who claim that they like to help people start helping actual charities, start maybe volunteering somewhere, not just sending 100K to a stranger? What are we doing here, man? I hate when the victims say, I'm just a nice person, XYZ. Once again, by the way, I don't think it's anyone's, you know, their own place to call themselves nice. That should, again, be for other people to say. But it's not a good excuse. Like, being nice doesn't mean getting walked all over. And we've talked about the abuse in this so-called relationship, right? Take away the quotations from so-called, because it is a so-called relationship. The abuse aspect, you know, I feel like in real-life relationships, abuse victims are led to believe, and they're gaslit to believe, that they should be nice and it's the nice thing to do to stay with the abuser, when it's very much a detriment, of course, to the victim. And if you're being led to believe that it's the nice thing and it's the loving thing to do to stay with that person despite everything that they're doing to you, I hope you can seek professional support to help you understand that this isn't the way to navigate a relationship. And well, help you leave that sack of shit. And I see that here with Sally. She's claiming she's nice and whatnot and helping Marcelo. But this is not being nice. This is, unfortunately, you being taken advantage of. I hope she recognizes that now. But at the very least, if there's anything to take from this video, is that I urge everyone to recognize when you are being taken advantage of, and it's not out of love, okay? And au contraire, if they tell you, you should do this, you should do that, because it shows you love me. No. All right? Don't let them say that.
I would love for Social Catfish to investigate and try to find out something about this man and you know, that I can have a little closure on this, because like I said, I feel like a real fool that I did that. But you know what? I love, you know, and
what are you saying,
love
man?
to be in love, and I'm always going to feel this way.
What does that mean? I feel like, you know, you're taking a step forward and then you're taking like a million steps back. You have got in the fast car now, and you're going down the one-way street of no accountability. You're saying that you are a fool and you seemingly recognize that, but then you're just throwing it all in the bin by saying, but I'm a sucker for love, essentially. What are we doing here, man? None of what you've described is love. You're confusing me, Sally.
After our team received this video, we knew we had to find the man in the photos. We did a bunch of digging on the internet. We ran a reverse image search on our site, socialcatfish.com, and were able to find the true man in the photos. Sally went through a very traumatic experience. To go through something as awful as this and then to tell the story was both courageous and heartbreaking. We would like to ask anybody that is watching this video to please leave a positive comment below to help lift her spirits. If you're looking to find the identity of your online lover, you can start with the tools on our site, socialcatfish.com. You can click this YouTube card or click the link in our bio. Just hitting like, comment, and subscribe helps us build more tools out for you to use in the future. It was time to sit down with Sally and her daughter, Jennifer, who helped her realize that Marcelo was a scammer.
Okay, guys, so we wanted to ask you a couple of questions to get an idea of where you guys are right now and to get an idea of your thoughts and feelings about the story. Our first question is, Jennifer, we understand that it's really difficult for people in the situation when they understand that their family member might be being catfished. So what was it like confronting your mom about Marcelo?
Well, yeah, it was really difficult to get to the point to talk to her about that. So she was on the ventilator, and I sent my brother to the hospital to go get her phone. And then I found out about it. Now, I knew, you know, but I got confirmation.
You found the bills
on the phone. Yeah, I got confirmation of the messaging on the phone. I was in charge of her bills. And then I, you know, saw all of the bills that had been racked up on her credit card.
Editing H here, filming from the coldest place on Earth right now. I also wanted to come here and say another trigger warning, because as we spoke about earlier, they are now going to show the image of her lying in the hospital bed again. So, trigger warning. Sorry. Why have they showed this image again, man? Can we just look at Sally's face here, by the way? What is she doing? That's kind of scary, but first of all, you know we're watching an older episode when someone by the name of Jordan is on the screen. Who is that? I don't think I've ever seen him. Maybe once, but shout out Jordan. He looks hella hench, isn't it? Muscle boy. Anyway, just look at Sally's face. It kind of creeps me out.
All of the bills that had been racked up on her credit card.
She's like
Mom
a cartoon.
Wanted her phone back when she got off the ventilator, and I didn't want to give it to her.
We have a lot of love between us.
Yeah, she's a, you know, she's my mom, so I don't want to like take over her life and not let her have control over things. And you know, she owns a business, and I wanted her to have dignity. And so I did talk to her very gently about it, and it turned out good.
But I expected it. I expected it. I knew she found my bills, so I knew she would have known. But they did it so good. They did it with such love and respect that, you know, I'm so happy. I'm very proud of my children. You know, right?
Yeah.
Sally,
That's
was
good.
this the first person you've ever sent money to online?
Listen, his posture is crazy and his traps are freaking crazy. You could use those bad boys as a freaking like a jaws of life. So muscly. Oh. Can we just like acknowledge how expressive Sally's face is, huh? Like, I think I like do like crazy facial expressions. Sally is like a whole different level. I love it. She's like, wow.
Marcelo? I tried to send this other guy money, but the bank wouldn't let me do it.
Sorry?
They had a talk with me, and they kind of made me realize that the guy was a scammer, and so I didn't send him. I wanted to send him $5,000. That one guy with the oil. So.
What? If the bank has told you, surely there would have been signs in that one that Marcelo was displaying. So I'm a bit confused on what's happening there. I understand. Jennifer said it. You know, Sally owns a business and whatever. I just don't feel like she's capable of being in control of finances. That could be me reaching, though. I don't know. I'm not getting the vibe that she fully comprehends, really, the severity of everything, but...
Yeah.
So that's Marcelo's the guy I sent all the money to. I sent him over $100,000.
What was it that made you feel so comfortable with Marcelo in giving him money?
Wow, I that's a tough question for me. I just felt really comfortable with him. He knew what to say to me, and I tried to, like catch him in lies.
Really?
I checked him in every way. I tried to, make sure that he wasn't a scammer, but he always knew what to say to me. That's all I can say. I just felt really comfortable with him.
Getting into some of the things we found, we did some digging with our tools to find information all over the internet. And what we found is the real man in the pictures is named Stefano. And he's a gay man, and he has pictures of him and his significant other on his Instagram account. So it turns out that almost all of the pictures Marcelo sent to you is from Stefano's Instagram account. We found tons of fake accounts of Stefano from all across the internet. So this is something that he seems to be dealing with on a regular basis. This is something that is very common on the internet. Unfortunately, a lot of models and celebrities have their images stolen all the time, and people use them to start relationships with unsuspecting victims.
It says here, beware of fake profiles. This is the only original. See that?
Goodness me.
Yep.
They're kissing in that picture. Sorry. Can we just... Why was I going to rewind it? Nobody question me in the comment section, please. I just can't get over the fact that, like, how eloquent Jordan is. Like, I would love, obviously, to, I guess, see him again on this show. But what am I on about? I feel like this little segment that we've got here, you guys might be questioning me, my sexuality. You shouldn't, because I can just appreciate a man and his... let's just go on, because... What am I saying?
See the kissy face was it. I know. I can't believe it. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, topless,
I'm
Speedos.
really hurt because I believe this person,
Goodness me.
And seeing all these pictures and knowing that he's some person in Italy, it's just terrible, But I figured it,
Did you?
I mean, I got out of the hospital a few months ago. I expected as much, It's just that seeing it really gets to you, really knocks you out, It's tough. It's hard.
It's tough, and I assume you're going to say it's heartbreaking, and it is. I don't like victims saying that they suspected XYZ but still sent money. What are we doing here? Like, 100K, and you knew all along, right? That's just worse. Can't you just accept that, or she did a bit, that she was foolish? But don't say things like that. It just makes it worse.
But that's life. What could I do? Now I just got to go on.
That's
and
life?
Make the best of my life. There's that one I like the best right there.
What?
I just can't even. I mean, I believe it, but it's just so shocking, because
Yeah, it is. And I also hate when I feel like it's been recent. Like a lot of victims have been saying it is what it is, and she's kind of said it there. It's life. 100K. That's life. I've spunked it away. It's life. People have too much money. Okay. I don't know if that comes across as like, oh, maybe I'm being salty or what. I don't care that these people have this money. I care about the fact that they don't seem to understand or cherish the fact that they have this money. That's life. If I lost 100K, I'd be crying in bed, bro, all day, every day. What are we doing here?
there's another one that he sent me.
There's that one where he said he's in the airplane coming to see you.
Yeah.
Seeing these photos, is it causing you to look at the 3-year relationship in a different light? Is
Listen.
it causing you to look back on some of the things he said? And
Let's look back at the fact that Donnie's penile is just almost out in every picture. How is that allowed on Instagram? Huh? I'm not rewinding. You dirty devils. Stop it.
some of the stories he was telling you and, change your opinion about it?
Well, I do. My opinion's completely changed. But the thing is, like you said, look back on the 3 years. Sometimes I thought he was a scammer. And then I would tell him, I'd catch him in something, and then he'd always explain it out to me.
It's just that his tactic was
Isn't
to
that the
keep,
point?
asking for a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more.
I never sent him a
And
lot.
That is not correct.
Say, I'm going to come now.
Yeah.
And then something comes up and, I'm going to come now. And we said, Mom, we didn't really know the extent of the money. We suspected there was money involved, but
I never admitted it.
The whole, I'm coming home, honey. I'm coming home. And, every couple of weeks or something, Mom would say, oh, Marcelo's coming now. And we would all kind of laugh.
Yeah. We used to say, even we'd kid around and I'd say, yeah, I'm talking to some fat guy with a beard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when it was going on, but I still believed him. It's ridiculous. I believed him. I wanted to. Maybe I wanted to.
What just happened there? Did she just call the person behind the images fat? What's just happened here, man?
But I can't stand this anymore. I need to have a life, and I realize that I hurt my kids by doing it too.
Well, I'm glad she recognizes that.
I just want to respect them. I even quit. I was vaping, because I quit smoking and I was vaping. And I even promised them I'd quit vaping. And usually I kind of sneak, but I haven't even snuck that. I have so much respect for my children, the way they handled this all and how they treated me with love. And, they told them that I had a 15% chance of living. And I think I lived because of the love they gave me and the understanding, right? So.
So, Sally, how has this entire situation with Marcelo affected you financially? You mentioned that you were sending the profits from the restaurant.
Right, Jordan, what kind of question is that, mate?
Years. How is that playing out right now?
Like today, I went to I keep getting all these bills. See, when I met Marcelo, I had $18,000 in the bank and zero debt.
Yes.
And my house is all paid for. That's luckily. She said the kids were saying we were glad you didn't give them your house, So anyway, and now I have $116,000 mortgage on my restaurant, and I had $65,000 worth of credit card debt, which was driving me nuts. But the bank lady didn't give me quite as much as she should have, and so I'm still paying a lot of these. And today I got, every time I look, there's another 6 bills, Yeah. So I'm going to get ahead of it. My business is seasonal, so we haven't gotten crazy busy yet. But once we get crazy busy, I'll get it all paid off again. So when I'm all done, I will be okay. I'll have money in the bank. It's just nerve-wracking. I just mailed 6 bills, and I'm not used to all these bills,
What are your thoughts on online dating now, and would you ever use online dating in the future?
I'm afraid of online dating, but the only thing I can say is if I ever did, I'm not thinking about it now, I'd have to meet the person right away. You got to meet them right away, because then you know that they're for real, right?
chill out. Right, left. How about that? That didn't even make sense. Just because you do meet someone in real life, you know, I do like to say you should still watch out for red flags because it doesn't guarantee that this person has genuine intentions. So just be wary. Even if you do meet someone in person, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. There's no pot at the end of the rainbow all the time. Something like that.
Not the fat guy with the beard.
Yeah.
What is she
I don't
saying?
know, I might like a fat guy with a beard if he was nice to me.
Bro.
You know, I'm just saying, you know, that's just what we...
I've been meaning to pause this. Can we look at Jennifer's face, right? Can't really see her eyes because the sun is shining in them. She looks like she doesn't want to be on this call. I don't know if that's just me. She seems like she's exhausted. Why does she keep saying fat, by the way? She's mentioned fat like 5 times, I think. Who is she talking about? Why does she keep describing someone as fat? Editing age, the snood is now off of me. So it's, you know, it's a roller coaster of temperature, just like maybe you feel the same way. This is a roller coaster of just what the hell is going on and what the hell is Sally saying. I kind of figured out now she's calling Stefano a fat guy with a beard. But in her context, you know, it's Marcello, in quotations, right? Her online lover. With all due respect, this whole joke that he's a fat guy with a beard and how she said, oh, we joke about it, and is that funny? Is it? Like, you claim to love this person. You claim to, I don't know, be in a relationship or whatever the shit is going on at this point. So, you know, just willingly, you're calling your... Look, in the context, she thinks this is real, right? You're calling your partner fat? Well, what are we doing here? It's just a nasty thing to say. If you thought that's the only thing Sally has nasty to say, you just wait a little bit more and she's going to say another nasty thing. So, she strikes me as the type of person who... I don't know, when they get rejected or something, or just doesn't get their way, I'm gonna insult you.
The joke we said, but I'm not saying that it's totally out, but I told my kids that if I ever did it, I'd tell them and they'd be a part of it. And
okay, that's
I'd have
good,
to
I
meet
guess.
the person right away.
Sounds like you have really great plans for the future, Sally. Like you just said, that you just bought a house next to your daughter, and you know, life's heading down a new path for you.
I'm going to go back to being a happy girl, believe me, you know, because it's who I am. You know, I mean, I feel bad. I'm brokenhearted that this man did this to me.
No,
but
shouldn't be.
You know, there's nothing. I'm a realist. There's nothing I can do to change it, and I just got to go on and make the best of my life. I kind of plan on living till I'm 95 or so, and you know, I got a long life to live, so I got to make it the best I can. You know.
Yeah, Sally, I just want to let you know that we appreciate you and your story, and for you taking the time to be here. You as well, Jennifer, we appreciate you guys.
You know, so I just want you to know or any people that are watching this, that this is so everywhere, you know, and most of these people online are scammers. Look, I talked to at least 10, maybe 13 scammers, you know.
And one person was real.
One person was real, but he was the ugliest guy I ever saw.
Sorry?
You know, what could I do? You know, I showed my daughter. She goes, Mom, why don't you get someone, the other daughter? Mom, why don't you? I said, here, look, see this face? You want me to date him? No. Want me to date him? No. You want me to? You know, I'd rather be alone.
Yeah, maybe you should, man. I don't want to come across as a harsh villain here. Maybe you should be alone if that's how you talk about people. Don't get me wrong. Preferences are a thing. You find someone attractive or not, that's entirely your prerogative. But, you know, I absolutely hate people who can't express or very much lack the emotional intelligence to articulate that they are not interested in someone in a nice manner. Do you know what I mean? Like, does what I'm saying make some sort of sense here? If you don't find someone attractive, whatever, right? You can't just then say they're the ugliest person you've ever seen. Like, what the hell are you talking about? That's so disgraceful, bro. Like, I just don't. What do I think of Sally? Like, she's so conflicting to me, but my ass is on the side of the fence that's, I don't really like Sally, right? I feel like she's done way too much to come across as a nice person, but she's backtracked a lot of times. She's taken accountability, but then backtracked on it. And then comments like, again, I assume she was calling the Stefanos, Stefano fat? Is that who she was calling fat? And then now she's describing someone as the ugliest person. Like, what is it? Like, it's just disgusting. Is it not? Is it just me? Like, vile? Like, imagine someone turned around to Sally's face and just said, "Oh, you're the ugliest woman I've ever seen." How do you think she'd feel? You think she's gonna be laughing about it? Like, what are we doing here, man? If you or anyone you know, right? If you don't find someone attractive, cool, but there's no need to be saying things like this.
I got a lot. I'm not really alone. I have a lot of people in my life.
Shut up, man.
Happiness, right?
Yeah.
Just shut
Thanks
up.
for watching another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
How about that?
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, go do that. But you already are. What a sour taste that's been left in my mouth at the end there, huh? Is it just me? I mean, there was like little twangs of sour here and there throughout. And then right at the end there, she just defecated in my stinky mouth. That would imply that, no, it stinks because she shat in it. I'm going to go over to the original video now. Check out the comments, see what people are saying. Bye. Tantalizing talk time. Sally's got a fast car. She don't really know where she is going, but she jumped in that car. She's with Marcelo, heading somewhere. Maybe they'll get there one day. Ruined it again. It's such a hard song to remix. I thought I'd give myself some time away from the camera and think of something, but I've just butchered it. What an interesting episode. I think, would Darth Vader say this? It's someone from Star Wars. I don't know. The narcissism is strong with this one, right? I feel like that's something Yoda would say. Narcissism strong, this one. Where is he? I've misplaced my pop figure of Baby Yoda. No, I see it. It's over there now. But we're here. Let's begin this, because what the hell is this intro to this section? I've always been told that I'm beautiful by everybody. Certainly more attractive than most. People with egos that are willing to pay to get their ego stroked. They aren't scammed as much as they are paying for emotional services from these scammers. 100k for some emotional services, goodness me, would get me emotional, to say the least. And I agree. A lot of these victims... First of all, a lot of these victims come on this show to get their ego stroked anyway, right? The team have a habit of coddling them, freaking giving their asses a little slap and a tickle, right? Yeah, don't worry. Yes, you did great. That's just not the case. They did really stupid things, and I wish they got called out for it a bit more. But I digress. All right, let's put the train of thought back on the tracks. These people who, and quite openly, I mean, she admitted the vanity aspect. You're just getting your ego, let's treat it like an ass. You love your ass just fondled with. And your ego through the roof. Freaking so much smoke blown up your ass, you cosplay as a chimney. And unfortunately, you get what you pay for in some cases. Now, we'll get into it a bit more, the whole narcissism aspect, because I feel like maybe I didn't go hard enough during the initial commentary, But it's quite late as I film this, and I'm not trying to upset the street. As if that's ever been a thing. I just usually lose my shit anyway, but maybe I'm trying to chill out a bit. Maybe it's a new year, new me. That would be cap, because I literally have been angry. New month, new me. How about that? That man she wouldn't date because he was ugly really dodged a bullet. He dodged that bullet as if Donnie was in the Matrix. Okay, proper Neo style, bending backwards, his spine turned into a pretzel, for the best that he didn't get into any sort of relationship with Sally. Almost called her Sherry for a second there. Frickin', that's the episode where I lost my shit properly. They made 2 episodes on Sherry. But it's interesting because if she said like, oh, he's hella ugly, ugliest person, blah, 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 why the hell is she communicating with him in the first place, no? I'm really baffled by that. I don't know if it's a case of, that guy just left her a message and maybe she didn't respond or something. But, I don't know, regardless of the situation, the emotional intelligence is just in the toilet. She got the emotional intelligence of a freaking rock. You know what I mean? And I'd actually trust a rock just sat there, little pebble on the floor, to be more understanding of people's emotions than Sally, it seems. Again, you don't find someone attractive, cool, you don't berate them, right? And especially you come online, maybe it might be far-fetched, but he might come across this video, he watches it till the end, and you've just slewed him for no apparent reason. And to be honest, that tells me all I need to know about you. I argue that you can learn a lot about a person or the way they treat others that they deem they are better than. If that makes some sort of sense. You would hope people just treat everyone with respect and, what's the word here? Just, emotionally intelligent, right? You don't just go around slating people's appearances. But apparently it's nothing. Now this next one, I'm glad someone else touched on it, because maybe I thought I was reading too much into things, and maybe Jennifer just looks like that on a daily basis. You can see the mental pain her daughter is in. Yeah, I mean, I said she looks exhausted, and I think we got a good enough glimpse of Sally to kind of pick up on the fact that she's potentially a draining person to be around. But let me know your thoughts on that. I do feel for Jennifer, the family in general, really. And I hope they have never had to interject themselves in Sally's life again, because I can definitely understand it being very much taxing when you're trying to look after your own life, It wasn't loneliness, I just didn't want to be alone. Now that is the line of the century. There was mention of the Coke variety, of the powder variety-ness. Shut up. There was mention of that substance. That's the line of the century, actually. But I don't think I even clocked that during the initial commentary. She was all over the place. And I think I saw another comment that I picked out where it touches on the fact that she was all over the place. Is it the next one? Let me check. It's not the next one. But my point still stands that, to be honest, maybe I didn't, pick out enough things, because she was bamboozling. She was bamboozling even me. There were points where I was like, what is going on? Let my brain rest, please, Sally. I was very surprised after I sent him $1,000 that he still wanted to talk to me. You can't really argue with that logic. This woman is sharp as a meatball. There was one episode of Kitchen Nightmares that I did a commentary on, where the chef couldn't make a meatball in an Italian restaurant. That's the kind of meatballs we're dealing with when we concern Sally. They look anemic and freaking like a brain just on a plate. Which, by the way, off topic, if you guys want to see another commentary on a Kitchen Nightmares episode, I'm down for that. But I digress. Yeah, if Sally sent me money, I took to her. If anyone sends me $1,000, I'm sticking around. Tell you that much. I'll tell you that for free. Even. Shut up, H, man. What is this? What is going on? Saliva swallow. Next up, Sally says her family is the most important thing to her, but she sent a scammer over $100,000 that she could have helped her family with. Per Sally, I'm not bad looking, my pictures are pretty, people tell me I'm beautiful all the time, and I'm not a dumb woman. I'm a realist. The reality is, if he were not gay with a partner, a man who looks like Marcelo would not look twice at Sally. Sally might have found a nice, honest guy, but she'll never know. She very unkindly said he was the ugliest guy in the world. Judging people based on looks will leave you quite lonely, Sally. Simple as that. I think this person said it as coherently and in a very nicely articulated way than I ever could. There is exactly what I mean. I do agree that I'm not necessarily sure if you want to call this harsh or not, but I don't think someone who looks like Marcelo would go and want to be in a relationship with someone who looks like Sally. And that's not hypocritical, if some people are arguing that right now. This isn't me attacking Sally's looks as she did that guy. This is just actually me being the realist that Sally claims to be, very ironically as she appears on a catfished show. But you just have to accept sometimes that someone is out of your league, and it's not a bad thing, right? Obviously, I, for example, wouldn't get Jessie J appearing in my DMs asking to be in a relationship. That's never gonna happen, is it? So you just have to accept sometimes the reality of life, as this person puts it. And it's not a bad thing. And dare I say, you live a more happier life if you just accept that, models are not coming into your DMs. And now, lastly, this is the comment referring to this woman is all over the place. First, she said she wasn't looking for love. Then she said I was looking for love. Then she said I love love. This woman is all over the place. And I love the fact that I didn't even pick up on this during the commentary. So well and truly my brain. We talked about her brain being in a fast car speeding off to nowhere. My brain has also got into a car. Not the same car as Sally's brain, because Sally's brain is in a car that's heading so far towards the edge of the earth. All the flat earthers are thinking it's gonna just drive off the edge. My car is somewhere else. It's going down south, not to hell, to the South Pole. I was gonna say where Santa is, but that's North Pole. But in this story, Santa's moved. Shut up. What the hell am I on about? Hopefully you guys didn't get as much of a mind F as I did. I think this is one of the stories where I genuinely felt more confused by the end of the episode than when I first started. So, kudos for that, I guess. Stay safe online. If you have someone in your life who claims to love the family around them, tell them to get a grip of themselves if they're sending 100k to someone. And watch out for your own sanity, your own mental health, your own well-being. Because Jennifer seemed very drained. And I don't want that to be you, I saw a bit of myself in Jennifer, in that sometimes, as much as I do love someone, it can be very frustrating. I've just realized my table is just I think in the edit, you won't even be able to see it because I've sort of zoomed in. Way to get off topic. I sometimes feel very exhausted trying to help someone when you've done all that you can. Maybe they don't seem to be understanding you. So just watch out for yourself as well, you know. I do understand you might feel guilty because, as we were talking about earlier, you feel like you can help more. You feel like you could have done more or something, but pretty sure you've done everything you can, okay? Sending you love. Much strength. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, my lips hella dry. Can you see that? Maybe that's where the car is heading. To the desert. Where my lips have... Sally, send me money, please.